I'm delighted to welcome now Guido Terreni, CEO of Parmigiani Fleurier, another familiar face in our studio. So Parmigiani Fleurier has been under the spotlight over the last 2 years since you took the helm. Tell us more about the turnaround that you have spearheaded.
Well, good morning, Olivia. It's a pleasure to kick off the week with you here today. Well, it is a fantastic moment that we're living. In only a couple of years, we have recentered the brand on its core values. It's a relatively young brand. It's founded on 2 pillars in the imprinting that Michel Parmigiani, the founder, gave to the brand, which is a deep knowledge in watchmaking culture, coupled with understatement and a discreet style. So the prestige of the brand was very high, and we had to reconnect with the audience, and we did it by putting the product at the core of our value proposition. And since the unveiling of the Tonda PF, it's overwhelming.
Indescribable.
Yeah.
So what were the main reasons for this shift in strategy? Give us a little bit of context there.
Well, it was an interesting moment because I entered during the pandemic. So it was a moment in which you couldn't travel, you had to go deep.
There was no playbook.
Well, this was the best moment to deep dive in the values of the brand. So the introspective work that we did was very profound, starting from what you want to say in watchmaking, because you have to have a reason to exist, and to what kind of client you are looking towards to. So we have the chance to be appealing to a very sophisticated crowd, very knowledgeable in watchmaking, and educated to refinement and elegance. So these values are part of the brand, and the Tonda PF is a contemporary interpretation of these values.
We've talked enough about the past. Let's actually look now at the present and future for 2023. Have you prepared another world premiere to surprise us?
Well, last year, the Minute Rattrapante has been the talk of the fair, and we were excited for this innovation. At Parmigiani, we really believe that we refuse to think that everything has already been done in watchmaking. Everybody says you cannot reinvent the wheel. You can if you have ideas and if you have the courage to do things that are different. So today we are unveiling our second world premiere on the Tonda PF, which is called the Tonda PF Minute Rattrapante. And just by having the idea of looking at a diving bezel, that is a function that is not in the movement. We transferred that function to the movement, and we have invented something that didn't exist before, something that allows you to set the minute in which you have to do something, go to the gate when you're in the lounge, or stop talking like me after 5 minutes, and then you master the time that you play with your delay. So it's something very subtle, it's something there but not there, like the brand is, so not ostentatious and fun.
And we will actually get a deeper dive into this watch later on in the show. So you recently presented also the Charlie Chinese calendar. In fact, the 3rd calendar watch of the Maison. I'm wondering why the Maison is so attracted by such calendars.
Well, it goes back to what I said before, the history of watchmaking, the way that time is measured. And it's fascinating that we are given, all humanity has the same time given to live on Earth, but it's fascinating to see how civilization read and master the time differently according to their culture. So Michel was, in his phenomenal restoration work, he developed this passion for calendars that he calls the mirror of civilizations, because calendars were, for our ancestors, much more important than a calendar that is today, because they ruled society, they ruled agriculture, they ruled many, many aspects of a society. And to have this trilogy, which is our Gregorian calendar, which is a solar calendar that rules the Western world, if you want. The Hirji calendar was the second one that came from a table clock that Michel restored many years ago, and we miniaturized it on the wrist, and that was the Muslim perpetual calendar. And the third is Exiale, which is a combination of a lunar and a solar calendar, and it's the first time that you have a complete Chinese calendar on the wrist. And this year, in Watches and Wonders, for 3 fortunate collectors, we have a set with 3 watches in platinum, full platinum, just for 3 lucky owners.
Well, Mr. Terreni, thank you so much for sharing all that with us. And speaking of time, I'm hearing a lot of hustle and bustle. I think it's also time for potentially a coffee. So thank you very much for joining us on the show.
Thank you, Olivia. It's been a pleasure.
Take care.